Take a moment to observe. This resembles a regular Porsche video, right? Well, here's the twist. It's actually a PowerPoint presentation, and in today's tutorial, we'll master the art of creating this entire Porsche presentation video from scratch. Get ready to learn lots of cool PowerPoint tips and tricks in this video, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So, I'm using PowerPoint in Microsoft 365 and I'll be using the default slide size in this video. Here we can see the assets used in this presentation. All these assets are free to download. The links are in the description. Here are some of the presentation details for the slides in the tutorial. These elements will guide you as you create your own spectacular presentation. Now, what exactly would you learn in this tutorial? First, we will learn where to find 3D models to use in our presentation. Next, we will learn how to change the lighting on 3D models. Finally, we will learn advanced presentation design techniques that cover object alignment, cool morph transition tricks, creating slideshows, exporting slideshows to high quality videos, and overall how to create awesome PowerPoint presentations just like this one. Okay, let's get started with the tutorial. First step, let's download the Porsche 3D model. A popular platform for free and premium 3D models is Sketchfab. This platform provides a wide range of 3D models that you can seamlessly integrate into your presentations. Whether you need realistic objects, stunning landscapes, or captivating characters, Sketchfab has an extensive library to meet your needs. P.S. This is not sponsored, so go ahead and try it out. We are going to be using this free Porsche 3D model by Carol Miklas. Thank you very much. Click on Download 3D model. Here you can see all the formats available. Ensure you download the model in a supported format like GLB. Okay. Now let's insert the 3D model into PowerPoint. To insert 3D models, head over to the Insert tab, click on 3D models, select this device. Locate the 3D model you just downloaded, click Insert. Just like that, we've inserted the Porsche 3D model. You can scale and rotate just as you would with 3D models from PowerPoint's 3D library. Looking at this, the 3D model looks brighter than expected because PowerPoint adds additional lighting to 3D models. And if you look at the 3D model options, there are no options to change lighting. But no worries, I'll show you how you can do that in the next step. Let's duplicate this slide so we can compare the difference in lighting. Now, note this slide number. I'll keep it displayed on the screen. If you started with a fresh presentation, yours should be slide 2. Now save the presentation, then close. Next, head over to 7zip.org and download the software in order to access slide archives and then change lighting on our 3D models. After installation, locate your presentation. Right click, over the 7zip option, then click on Open Archive. Open the PPT folder, then open the Slides folder. Look at the slide number, in my case, slide 12. Right click, click on Edit. Now, to change the lighting, search for Lights. You can see the ambient and point lights. Let me just space them out so we can see clearly. There should be 4 lights, 1 ambient and 3 point lights. One of the ways to reduce the brightness is by deleting the 3 point lights. The next option is to adjust these RGB values for each of the lights. To to save time with that, I have found these lighting settings you can use to reduce the brightness on 3D models. So let's copy. Highlight all the lights. Then paste. Now you can save the document. You get this prompt to update the archive. Click OK. Just like that, we've changed the lighting of the 3D model in slide 12. Next, reopen the presentation. Let's compare the lighting on both slides on full screen. As you can see, the lighting on the second slide is a lot better than the first slide. Obviously, this is just my preference. You can customize the lighting however you like. Now click on this view. You can also increase the dimension and align to the center of the slide. Let's delete this slide as it's no longer needed. Now you can start designing the slides. These are all the assets we're going to be using in this presentation. So let's copy this picture, paste it here, send backwards and align to the bottom of the slide. Let's drag this down a little. Let's add the Porsche logo. Drag it above the 3D model. Also ensure that both objects are aligned to the center of the slide. Okay. Now duplicate the slide. On this slide, let's group the picture and the model. Drag it down. Then ungroup. Okay. Scale down the 3D model. Then drag out of the slide. Select the logo, then align it to the center and to the middle of the slide. Now select both slides, then add the morph transition. Duration 1.4 seconds. Let's check it out. As you can see, we've created this cool entrance effect. Let's head back to the normal view. Duplicate the second slide. Let's rotate this model. Obviously, you can do that by dragging this control handle manually. However, I'm going to be using a specific rotation. So, click on Format Objects, head over to the Model Rotation option. Type these values. Okay. Now drag the model and the logo to the right. As you can see, the logo is now at the center of the model. So let's ensure that it's aligned to the center. Let's insert a rectangle. Basically, we're going to be using this rectangle as a guide to align the logo to the center of the 3D model. Select both objects, then align them to the center. As you can see, that's a lot better. Now, let's add another rectangle to cover the slide. Ensure that it matches the slide size. Remove the outline. Then add a gradient fill. That is looking good. Next, let's insert a text box. Let's type the car model name. inside a rectangle. Remove the outline, change the fill color, and change the dimension. Align to the text and send backwards. Select both objects and drag them to the side. Now insert a rounded corner rectangle. I'm going to use these dimensions. Give it a 45-degree rotation. Adjust the roundness of the rectangle by dragging the yellow circle. Change the outline color to white. Reduce the line width. Then increase the transparency. Select the gradient fill and change the type to radial. Direction from the center. Change the color and position of the gradient stops. See the presentation detail of the start of the video for my exact color codes, font size, and effect settings. Let's add an inner shadow. Okay, now we can also add icons and text. I'm just going to copy from my previous presentation. Paste. Okay. Now let's align the objects. Let's also align to the center of the text. Now duplicate by holding Ctrl and Shift, then dragging. Once more. Now distribute objects vertically. Okay. You can then change the text and the icons. If you're a Microsoft 365 subscriber, you can find these icons directly in PowerPoint. Obviously, you can always use your own icons. Open the selection pane. Now, let's rename the objects. You might be wondering why the double exclamation marks. This is just a morph transition trick to ensure that PowerPoint identifies a particular object as the same object across all slides and that it morphs accordingly. Let's group all these objects together so we can align them in the middle of the slide. Okay. Now, duplicate this slide. Remove the fill on this rectangle to make it invisible. Drag this out of the slide. Now we want to align this object to the center of the slide. So let's insert a rectangle to use as a guide. Okay. Group. Then align to the center of the slide. Drag the model behind the rectangle. You can also move the object up a little bit. Ungroup the objects. Now let's align the rectangle to the bottom of the slide. Adjust the width and the height. Remove the outline Select the gradient fill. Change the angle. Okay. Next, let's add some text boxes describing the performance of the car. I'm just going to copy this text from my previous presentation. We can also add another text here. Align to the center. Increase the transparency of the text. Then align properly. So we have designed the performance slide. Let's also rename the gradient fill rectangle so that it morphs accordingly. Okay. Next, let's duplicate the slide. We want to create the interior slide, so delete all the slide objects except the 3D model. Okay. We can hide the 3D model for now. Next, let's change the background picture. We're going to be using this picture, so copy this. Select the picture fill, then click the clipboard option. Okay. Remember, the 3D object is still hidden. Now let's insert a new slide. Change the background color. We're going to be using this slide to create the slide elements for the interior slide. So let's insert a rectangle. You can use these dimensions. Duplicate the rectangle. Reduce the dimensions. Align to the corner of the rectangle. Let's duplicate and align to all corners of the rectangle. Now insert a circle. Use these dimensions. Align the circle with the rectangle. Duplicate the circle. Reduce the dimensions. Change the color of the circle and remove the outline. Let's also add a shadow. Copy the style of the circle. Select all 4 rectangles, then paste the style. Change the color, then add an outline. Change the color of the second circle and add a black outline. Align the circles together. Insert a plus sign. Now we can delete this rectangle. Group all these rectangles. Next, select all objects, copy, then paste here. You can group them for now and then adjust. Ungroup. Ensure that all objects are selected. Click on this rotation option. Then impede these values to change the perspective of the objects. Next, let's add another rectangle. Use these dimensions. Select the circle with the shadow. Copy the style. Paste it into the rectangle. Remove the shape effects and add an outline. Let's add another rectangle. Make it cover the right side of the slide. Send it to the back. Remove the outline. Select the gradient fill, then change the angle. Next, let's add some text. I'm going to copy the text from my previous presentation. Paste here. We can adjust and align the rectangle with the text. Now, let's connect this object to the solid line. Change the color and the width. Let's also send it to the back. Okay. Remember, create the 3D model. So let's unhide the 3D model, then hide all the other objects so that we can see clearly. Now let's change the rotation of the model. Now scale the model. Make it very big. Now let's adjust the large 3D model to the slide. I believe this is good. Next, unhide all the objects. Now let's add animations to this slide. With the 3D model selected, add a fade out animation. Open the animation pane. We have these text animations because I copied the text from my previous presentation. So let's delete this. Now let's ensure that this fade animation starts with previous. Let's add the 3D model again so that we can see the other objects clearly. First, let's add a flying animation to this gradient rectangle. Direction from the right. Ensure that it starts with previous. Next, select the grouped rectangles. Add a swivel animation. Change the duration. Ensure that it starts with previous. Next, select the first circle. Add a swivel animation. Change the duration. Ensure that it starts with previous. Add the delay. Okay. Next, select the other circle. Add a swivel animation. Change the duration. Ensure that it starts with previous. Add the delay. Right click on the animation. Select Effect Options. Animate text by letter. Okay. Next, select the line. Add a fading animation. Ensure it starts with previous, then add a delay. Next, select the rectangle. Add a swivel animation. Change the duration. Ensure that it starts with previous. Add a delay. Next, select the text. Add a swivel animation. Ensure it starts with previous. Add a delay. Change the duration. Right-click on the animation. Select Effect Options. Animate text by letter. Finally, let's also add a pause animation to the text. Change the duration. Ensure that it starts with previous. Add a delay. Right-click on the animation. Select Effect Options. Add a 10% delay. So, we've added all the animations. Finally, let's unhide the 3D model. That's it for the interior slide. Let's just confirm that all animations are in the right order. I believe that is good. Let's check it out. That is wonderful. Now, let's duplicate this slide. Drag it below. Delete all the objects except the picture and the 3D model. Now drag this picture down. Okay. Hide the picture. Next, let's change the slide background. Copy this picture. Select the picture fill. Click on clipboard. Now we can unhide the picture. Let's insert a rectangle to cover the slide. Remove the outline. Ensure it matches the slide size. Add a gradient fill. Add another gradient top. Change the angle. Increase the transparency. We can hide it for now. Let's align the 3D model to the middle of the slide. Let's also add some text. I'm going to copy from my previous presentation. Paste here. Let's also add some circles. Use these dimensions. Remove the outline. Duplicate 3 times. Select all the circles, distribute horizontally, then group. Align to the center of the slide. You can also adjust the position. Change the colors. On group, rename the circles so that they morph accordingly. We can make this white. Also, rename this rectangle. Now let's duplicate. Copy the style of this circle. Paste here. Copy this style, paste here. Let's rename this side view. Switch to this view, align to the center and to the middle of the slide. Duplicate this slide. Change the view of the 3D model to this. Rotate right. Then scale. Call this the top view. Cover the style of this circle. Paste here. Copy this style. Paste here. Duplicate this slide. Select the 3D model. Rotate left. Then use this model rotation values to change the view of the 3D model. We can also increase the width. Okay, let's add this rectangle. Next, insert a rectangle to use as a guide to align the 3D model. Align the rectangle to the center and to the middle of the slide. Drag the 3D model behind the rectangle. We can delete this. Let's call this the back diagonal view. Copy the style of this circle. Paste here. Copy this style. Paste here. Now unhide this rectangle. Okay, we are done with all the exterior slides. Let's duplicate again to create the final slide. Let's delete these objects. Remove the fill from this rectangle. Also delete this. Now scale down the 3D model. Then drag out of the slide in this direction. Ensure the picture is aligned in the center. Then align to the top of the slide. Next, let's copy the logo. Paste on the last slide. Ensure it's aligned. Okay. We can also delete this slide. Now we've finished designing the presentation slides. Let's just confirm that everything morphs accordingly. Let's do the exterior slides first. That's looking good. Now let's check out the whole presentation. That's looking wonderful. Moving on to the next step, which is creating a slideshow. To create a Porsche presentation video based on this presentation, we would need to create a slideshow using these slides and then export it to a video. So with all the slides selected, head over to the transition tab and click on the advance after option. This will enable the slides to advance automatically after a specified duration. Let me just add certain durations to these slides. Obviously, these are just my own durations. You can also play around with the duration if you like. These slides are hidden, so they will not play in the slideshow view. Let's give the slideshow a look. As you can see, I'm not clicking anything. The slides are advancing automatically after a particular duration. I will continue to do that until the end of the slideshow. Okay. Next, let's export this amazing slideshow to a high quality video. To do that, head over to the Record tab and click on the Export to Video. As you can see, the video resolution is 1080 pixels. We can also increase it to 4K resolution. Click on Customize Export, select Ultra HD, then click on Create Video. Export the video to a location on your device. Okay. Now you can view or share the video with your amazing friends and family. For the final step, let's insert the video into our presentation. First off, let's unhide this slide. Head over to the Insert tab, click on Media, select Video from this device, locate the video, then Insert. Okay. Next, let's scale down the video, align to this rectangle. Now we can delete the rectangle. Finally, select the video, make sure it starts automatically. You can also click this option so the video loops until it stops. Alright, we've come to the end of the tutorial. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I believe you've learned some fancy PowerPoint tricks like adding and manipulating 3D models, advanced alignment techniques, making cool slide transitions, and creating awesome presentation videos using just PowerPoint. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.